recovering the losses from frozen assets. Prime Minister in his special statement says undue profits by perpetual treasuries in bond transactions can be obtained. Heating up the political fray. 3 major political rallies participated by President, Prime Minister and former President. EU vessel Joint Commission deliberations. European Union wants Sri Lanka to repeal Prevention of Terrorism Act. Ongoing poll procedure. Postmaster General says distribution of ballot papers commenced.
115 million point 7 forecasts issued by Election Commission. Postal Department now in operation to deliver this forecast to the household.
Fire in Kazakhstan. A bus fire in northwestern Kazakhstan leaves 52 dead. A very good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Katharina Chang. Now on to your top story tonight. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says since government has frozen financial assets worth 12 billion rupees of perpetual treasuries, the undue profit of 9.2 billion rupees they made in central bank bonds auctions can be recovered to the government. Making a special address to the nation today, the Premier said that a committee chaired by Minister Tilak Marapana will look into the accusations made by the report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry against members of the United National Party in order to institute necessary measures against them.
The accusation on bond issuances was levelled a short while after this government came to power. We didn't look over that accusation but appointed a committee to investigate it. The Governor of Central Bank refrained from coming to office during the time of the committee. We informed Parliament about the issue and requested a select committee be appointed if needed. We presented the report of the investigation to Parliament. The COPE committee recommended to hold further investigations about Perpetual Treasuries Limited. Accordingly, the President appointed a Presidential Commission to look into this. We assisted proceedings of the Commission. Our ministers testified before the Commission. Even I appeared before the Commission. There is no government which started investigations when they were accused in this manner. We investigated this 3 times through committees. There were such accusations during the previous government as well. Yet there were no investigation conducted, nor did they reveal facts before the Parliament, and when questioned in Parliament, they didn't respond. The report of the Commission mentions that Perpetual Treasuries Limited made a profit of 9.2 billion rupees. The central bank, which is under my Ministry of National Policies, has frozen 12 billion rupees of this company. Therefore, as recommended by the Commission, the 9.2 billion rupees can be recovered. Then no loss will be made to the government. If any officer is connected to this issue, legal measures will be taken against them. We didn't see a government acting like this. The courts gave rulings without interference. People expressed their views freely, and the media acted without fear. Not only that, if there are any members of our party who are accused by the report, we have appointed a committee chaired by Minister Tilak Marapana to look into the matter and take a decision on them. We will take further measures according to the report provided by that committee. We not only look into frauds and corruption of the previous government, but we also look into accusations of fraud and corruption of this government, investigate them and take necessary measures.
A delegation of the Russian State Atomic Energy Corporation called on President Maithripala Sirisena at the official residence of the President yesterday. The 5-member delegation included the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of Rosatom for International Relations, Nikolai Spassky. The delegation arrived in the country with the aim of granting scholarships in science, technology and research in Sri Lanka, as well as to strengthen cooperation between the 2 countries in the sectors of power and energy, industry and agriculture. During discussions, President Sirisena expressed his gratitude to Russia for lifting the ban on Ceylon tea imports. The President had requested the delegation to convey his special appreciation to President Vladimir Putin in this regard. The 21st meeting of the European Union-Sri Lanka Joint Commission took place in Colombo today. During the meeting, the EU re-emphasized its clear and unwavering expectation that urgent action would be taken by the Sri Lankan authorities to repeal the Prevention of Terrorism Act and replace it with a legislation that is in line with international standards. The meeting was co-chaired by Deputy Managing Director for Asia and Pacific of the European External Action Service, Paola Pampolini, and Secretary to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Sri Lanka, Prasad Karyavasam. Discussions were held on plans to resolve the situation of the remaining detainees held under the Prevention of Terrorism Act as soon as possible. The EU said that there is a need to amend the Code of Criminal Procedures to ensure fundamental legal safeguards. The meeting also highlighted Sri Lanka's commitment to continue bilateral discussions through the respective working groups and the GSP Plus monitoring process with a view to further strengthening the implementation of the provisions of the 27 conventions. The EU also welcomed the accession to the Convention of the Prohibition of the Use, Stockpiling, Production and Transfer of Anti-Personnel Mines and on their destruction and adoption of a National Human Rights Action Plan, as well as the acceptance of the vast majority of recommendations received during the third cycle of its Universal Periodic Review in November last year, as evidence of Sri Lanka's continued commitment to reform. President Maithripala Sirisena emphasizes that he will leave his position once all corrupt politicians are brought before justice. The president said this addressing the SLFP election rally held in Kosgama today.
Many politicians representing the Sri Lanka Freedom Party participated in the campaign rally organised in Kosgama today.
There were some powers that were reduced under the 19th constitutional amendment. But some don't remember that President is the state leader or that he is the leader of the Cabinet of Ministers. A cabinet meeting can't be convened without him. I should mention this for the benefit of those who have misunderstood the situation. They will not be making incorrect statements if they had read relevant clauses. Under the unlimited powers that were vested with the President, he or she can appoint the Chief Justice, Supreme Court Justices, IGP and all other important positions of the country. I changed all of that. If I were living in the President's official residence in Colombo, it will cost all of you over 20 million rupees each month, and that is why I didn't step into the official residence. You might remember those who use the President's helicopters for their personal journeys. I assure you that none of my family members for once in these 3 years have travelled in the helicopters unless it's an official visit that they have to attend along with me. I saved your money all this time. Some question as to when I would leave my post. I'll tell them when. I will leave when all of those corrupt politicians are brought before justice and jailed for what they have done. I will leave when there is clean politics in the country.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe states that under his government, many loss-making entities were transformed into profit-earning entities. The Prime Minister said this participating in the maiden rally organised by the United National Party in Kandy, in line with the upcoming local government elections.
The United National Party organised their maiden rally aiming the upcoming local government election in Kandy today.
UNP winning this election means no one can stop the UNP winning other elections. This is the only election that we should face. As the next step, before taking long, we will dissolve provincial councils by the end of next year. We ask you to be ready to appoint a head of state from our own party through the general election. It took 2 years to stabilize the economy. Not only that, we increased salaries, we have controlled the prices of commodities, we granted jobs, constructed houses, and we have reduced prices of drugs. We have granted so much of freedom that the media who is enjoying this freedom is questioning us as to what we did. We took over the Hambantota port, which was dysfunctional, but it's operating now. We gained $1.1 billion through the port. We will save the Matale airport as well. I don't like the young generation paying debt. I request that you give the UNP the sole power of the Municipal Council of Kandy and other provincial councils in order to work for the village.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the government is attempting to destroy peace in the country by entering into agreements in the name of reconciliation. He made this remark addressing the Sri Lanka Podu Jana Perumana rally held in Colombo today.
Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna held a rally in line with the upcoming local government election at the Open Air Theatre in Vihara Mahadevi Park today. Parliamentarians representing the joint opposition and candidates contesting under the party were present during the occasion.
Ranil Wickremesinghe said he will be giving a special statement today. Prime Minister, you claim you are not afraid. If you have any shame, then do not be afraid to resign. President Sirisena, your mission 1 and 2 are of no use. If all thieves are caught, then take them to the CID, produce them before courts and put them in jail. We know what fraud has been committed. We know the loss that was made. We know who committed the fraud. We know who conspired this. Enact the law. This is what is not taking place. We need to reunite this country. Attempts are being made to destroy peace by bringing in agreements using the name reconciliation. This will break this country apart, and the end result of this will be dangerous. Therefore, please be aware of what is taking place and contemplate about this. Think about your children. We may be Tamils, Muslims, Sinhalese or even Burghers, but we should all work towards developing this nation like we belong to one family. We believe the time has come to prepare ourselves to rebuild this city.
Chairman of the Election Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya, says that government officials who will not have the opportunity to cast their postal votes on the 22nd, 25th and 26th of January will be able to do so on the 1st and 2nd of February. Convening a media briefing today, Deshapriya also explained their plan on creating public awareness on the violation of election laws.
Let's protect election laws, stand against violation of election laws. These subsidies are government funded and these roads are developed with government's funds. Therefore, there is no need to affiliate yourself to any political party or politician over them. Most of them distribute goods by making the voters go to stores. And when voters go to these stores, they are issued a bill to indicate that they bought something and another piece of paper which says they received the subsidy. So even if we investigate these people later on, we won't be able to figure out whether they received election-related subsidies or not. From Monday onwards, we are going to deploy 2 of our officials at each of these identified stores. These officials will hand out leaflets to people, requesting the public not to be misled by such subsidies. The Election Commission is not God. We work much slower. But when it requires, we will act promptly in order to punish all those who are responsible for violating election laws. All our efforts are for the next generation.
Meanwhile, Postmaster General Rohan Aberatna spoke to First at 9 on how the distribution process of ballot papers are being carried out.
115 million 0.7 poll cards issued by Election Commission, and we are Postal Department now in operation to deliver these poll cards to the households. And also postal votes 560,000 now in operation in Postal Department to deliver the respective places. This time also we are having a special delivery date, January 28. Even if it's a Sunday, we are delivering poll cards to the households. We will be doing in the operation up to 4th of February.
The report by the Commission of Inquiry into bond issuances being one of the most discussed topics of the town, a number of politicians had this to say.
The report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry to investigate and inquire onto serious acts of fraud, corruption and abuse of power is mostly consisted of ministers and MPs of the SLFP. It is unfortunate, but most of them are now in other groups. We, the President and the public, are of the view that those persons should be punished. After issuing the bond inquiry report, attempts are being made to drag this up until February 10th. If not, there is no way for the Presidential Secretariat to be unaware of tabling trilingual copies to Parliament according to the standing orders. We requested the Bond Commission to release the report with the remaining 34 reports on major corruptions. It has been gazetted in 3 courts. No matter who turns out to be the thief, they should be jailed. The Commission's report now recommends to file a court case against Ravi Karunanayake under the Penal Code to bring new laws in order to return the money to the public, which the country lost due to Arjuna Aloysius and Arjuna Mahindran. That law should be brought in by the Minister of Finance, Mangala Samaravira. It should be passed by Parliament, which consists of a majority of UNP. Will this happen? Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe made a statement which disgraced the country's monetary system before the entire world. In his statement, he accused the Mahinda Rajapaksa regime in order to safeguard the members of the UNP involved in the bond scam. It also states that Mahinda Rajapaksa should answer in Parliament about corruption that took place without transparency, leading to a loss of 4,702 billion rupees when issuing bonds within the period of 2008 to 2014. This statement is entirely a false one, since no such bond scam took place during our government. The President made a public statement regarding the bond inquiry report. In his statement, he says the report consists of 1,257 pages, but the report that has been released to the internet consists of 1,154 pages. 103 pages are missing. If you really want to build trust with the public regarding the report, the Honourable President should make a statement on what really happened to the rest of the pages.
The Ceylon Electricity Board Joint Trade Union Alliance called off the island-wide strike action which took place this morning. The strike action was held in protest over an alleged police assault on a group of union members when they held the chairman of the Ceylon Electricity Board, W.D. Ganegala, hostage at the Ceylon Electricity Board last evening.
Representatives of the Ceylon Electricity Board Joint Trade Union Alliance forcefully entered the head office of the Ceylon Electricity Board last evening in protest over discrepancies in their salaries. Thereafter, the group of protesters held chairman of the Ceylon Electricity Board, W.B. Ganegala, hostage in his office for a period of 5 hours. The chairman was later released with the intervention of riot police and police special task force. It is in this backdrop that trade unions commenced a strike action, citing that they were assaulted by police during the intervention. Director of Development at the Ministry of Power and Renewable Energy, Sulakshana Jayawardena, said a court order was obtained in order to quell the situation.
Yesterday we had a situation that some of the trade unions, they have entered to the CB head office and they have obstructed to the CB chairman and other officials who were working at that time to go out from the office, and then the police department, they took court decision and they interfere and they removed all the employees who were there in that premises. Then they have declared continuous strike, trade union action today.
Meanwhile, trade union members held a protest march from the head office of the Ceylon Electricity Board to the Prime Minister's office this afternoon. 5 representatives were granted the opportunity to hold discussions with officials of the Prime Minister's office. On their return to the CEB head office, another discussion took place with its officials. Meanwhile, Minister of Power and Renewable Energy Ranjit Siyambalapitiya said the ministry will take necessary steps to find a solution to their issues as per recommendations put forward by the Viritamulla Committee.
Viritamulla Committee headed by S. Viritamulla has been given 3 months to address their issues. We even suggested the committee, if possible, to give a solution in less than 3 months and provide us with a report as soon as possible so we could give them a permanent solution. As the ministry, we wish to clarify with all of its employees that we will provide a solution which will be fair as per the recommendations put forward by the committee. We are also ready to pay any pending allowances or wages at the first opportunity we get.
You are watching Sri Lanka's award-winning news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
A grant agreement was signed between the Japanese government and the University of Colombo to upgrade audio-visual equipment at the Department of Mass Media of Sri Pali campus yesterday. Japan's latest initiative is being carried out in a bid to support Sri Lanka in its switch over from analog to digital transmission in television broadcasting.
Signing of the grant agreement for the modernization of audio and video technology at the Sri Pali campus took place at the University of Colombo yesterday, under which a total sum of 12 million rupees will be provided. As time shifts from analog media to digital media, it is expected that this project will contribute to capacity building in the field of next-generation media training and also place Sri Pali campus as the focal point of education for media experts.
One thing that is going to happen is the transfer of the TV broadcasting system, the digitalization by adopting the Japanese digital transmission system soon. There will be a lot of needs for engineers and studio staffs familiar with digital system and also the Japanese broadcasting standard. We are also trying to promote collaboration in the content of the media. We are working to promote exchange between reporters, journalists, media persons.
This year, we are very much focused in improving the research profile of this university. We are having very close relationship with the industry as well. The Colombo University Science and Technology Cell, they have gone for product development with the industry partners. The latest production is the 3D printer, first time here in Sri Lanka. It's not just having teaching and learning within classroom setup, but we go actually beyond our physical boundaries and connect with outside world.
China's economy grew 6.9% in 2017, ending the year on a positive note as official figures topped the government target of around 6.5%. Official data today showed growth in the October to December period from a year earlier was 6.8%, unchanged from the third quarter and above analyst expectations of a 6.7% growth. Chinese policymakers have been trying to contain financial risks and slow an explosive build-up in debt without stunting economic growth. The world's second largest economy easily beat the government's target of around 6.5% for 2017 and quickened from a 2016 growth of 6.7%, which was the weakest pace in 26 years. Meanwhile, the country's forex regulator said China's foreign exchange reserve grew by $129.4 billion in 2017 to reach $3.1399 trillion at the end of last year. Colombo Stock Exchange extended losses for the 7th consecutive day led by foreign outflows. ASPI shed 29.23 to close at 6,410.11, while S&P/SL 20 index closed at 3,709.63, down 36.55 index points. Market turnover reached 1.3 billion rupees, with foreign investors ending as net sellers of 279 million rupees. Let's now cross over to Imeshi Fernando from the Stock Exchange for a detailed report.
The turnover was 1.26 billion rupees with 13 million shares changing hands in 2,317 trades. The market capitalization at the end of the day was 2,931.27 billion rupees. Today's foreign purchases were 448.34 million rupees and foreign sales were 727.86 million rupees. There were 7 crossings today and the crossing turnover was 414.22 million rupees.
The landmark Brexit bill, which lays out how the UK is to leave the European Union, was approved by British MPs in a 324-295 vote yesterday. This marks a victory for Prime Minister Theresa May over political opponents who want a softer approach to leaving the European Union.
The ayes to the right, 324. The noes to the left, 295. So the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Unlock.
The House of Commons approved the EU bill which repeals the 1972 law which made Britain a member of the European Union and transfers 4 decades of EU rules onto the British statute books. The bill has become the focal point for months of divisive debate about what type of EU divorce Britain would seek, severely testing May's ability to deliver on her exit strategy without a parliamentary majority. Attention will now turn to the House of Lords, which is expected to offer fierce scrutiny over the bill, with many of its members in favour of remaining in the EU and where the government lacks a majority.
A bus fire has killed 52 people in northwestern Kazakhstan. The Kazakh Interior Ministry said only 5 people were able to make it out alive. The accident happened at 10:30 a.m. local time in the Igris district of Aktob region. Local media was quoted as saying that the bus was carrying citizens from Uzbekistan. The cause of the deadly blaze has not been confirmed as yet. Let's now take a look at some other stories making news across the world.
Pope Francis told his followers in Santiago yesterday that the church must have a young face as it moves forward. Francis arrived in Chile on Monday and is traveling to Peru today. Police in Portugal and Spain have seized hundreds of kilograms of cocaine hidden inside fresh pineapples and arrested 9 members of a gang that transported them from South America. Aside from the 745 kilograms of cocaine seized, police also dismantled a laboratory where the drug was cut with additives. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi inaugurated a Centre of Excellence for date palms in India's western Gujarat state. The two leaders highlighted the need for organic farming, producing quality output, providing premium training to farmers alongside minimizing wastage. There were heated scenes seen in Brazil's largest city of Sao Paulo as protests against the price hike in public transport accelerated. Authorities in Sao Paulo approved a fare hike that could see a ticket on the bus and metro cost nearly 7 real, which is approximately $2.17 in a country grappling with a fledgling economy.
You are watching Sri Lanka's award-winning news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
South Africa defeated India by 135 runs in their second test match held at SuperSport Park yesterday, ending India's 9-series winning streak. Lungi Ngiri's 6-wicket haul gives the South Africans an unassailable 2-0 lead in the 3-match test series.
Deciding to bat first, South Africa scored 335 in the first innings, helped with the contribution from Aiden Markram. He was unfortunately caught by Parthiv Patel when he was 6 runs short of a century. Hashim Amla too contributed with a half-century but was caught short at 82. India in response were bowled out for 307. Virat Kohli stood out from the rest of the Indian batsmen with a brilliantly formulated innings of 153. Coming out to bat for the second innings, South Africa were bowled out for 258, setting India a target of 287. The Indian side seemed helpless before debutant Lungi Ngiri's bowling as he dismissed 6 of their batsmen, including skipper Virat Kohli, KL Rahul and Hardik Pandya, and only conceding 39 runs. Poor batting performances by the men in blue led them to a 135-run defeat as they were bowled out for 151 runs in their second innings. Meanwhile, skipper Virat Kohli lost his cool at a post-match media briefing when asked whether India had been fielding its best 11 in the series.
But if we had won this, was this the best 11? Look, I'm saying that we don't decide 11 according to results. You're telling me you could have played the best 11, so you tell me the best 11 will play that. Whoever plays should be good enough to go out there and do the job for the team. And that's why we've got such a big squad, and they are good enough to be at this level, but you need to do that collectively as a team.
Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
Let's now cross over to Sheila Fernando at the Other Derana Weather Centre for your forecast first evening edition.
Good Good evening and welcome to Forecast First. Your temperatures for tomorrow are to vary between 16 and 30 degrees Celsius, with the lowest temperatures yet again expected in the Central Hills. Looking at the map, we can expect some clear skies over most parts of the island. Well, the sun will shine bright upon many parts of the island, including Jaffna, Mannar, Anuradhapura and Trincomalee. Well, Matara, Hambantota and Vaunia in particular will experience some showers. That's all we have from the Weather Centre tonight. Up next is your City by City forecast.
You are watching Sri Lanka's #1 news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
And before we go, we'd like to take you around Sri Lanka to the most beautiful and scenic views that attract thousands of tourists around the world annually. Hope you enjoy. Good night.
Bringing you the news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.